Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to a special Q&A based around the Carabao Cup and everything that happened yesterday in what will be known for the ridiculous refusal from Kepa to be substituted. We all know that Chelsea went on to lose on penalties against Manchester City, giving Pep Guardiola the first domestic trophy of the season, but there is so much more to talk about around the game, which is why you guys have sent in your questions, and I will hopefully have some answers in the next few minutes. So let's get right into it. So first up is from Joe McLoughlin, who said, who do you think is in the wrong, Sarri because he can't control his player, or Kepa because he literally wouldn't come off? I'm going to go ahead and say Kepa. He's definitely in the wrong. Sarri has made the call. Sarri said you can come off, and he's basically rejected it. I understand if the medical staff are there and they're saying, oh no, he's absolutely fine. Basically, Sarri's just looked like a massive bitch in front of the whole stadium and everyone watching on TV because one of his players has just flat out refused to come off. I can't see this going too well for either of them, and I really want to know actually what was said in the dressing room afterwards. Next up is from Retime, who has said that, does this mean this is the end of Sarri's time at Chelsea, and if not, which action should be taken to rectify this misunderstanding and clear disrespect? Again, this is one of these things where I think there's two different policies around it. In the media, they've both come out and said it was a misunderstanding, but I'm sure behind closed doors, there'll be a lot more said. A few weeks ago, Sarri kept all of his team in after the Bournemouth loss, 4-0, and had an absolute go at all of them in the dressing room. So I can hardly imagine both of them went back to the dressing room and everything was fine. Within the club, I think Kepa's probably going to be fined and he may well be dropped. As for Sarri, I'm not so sure. The board will definitely have to stick with their manager or fire him. There's no in between. Next up from Sam, the man YouTuber, said that, do you think Kepa should be punished? Again, absolutely. Whether or not he'll be punished in the limelight, I don't actually know. For instance, if he doesn't start the next game, it'll be clearly obvious what's happened. If he gets fined a few weeks' wages or something internally, yes, I definitely think it will happen, and it probably is deserved. RK has said, who came off worse, Kepa for his arrogance or Sarri for his lack of control? As I've just mentioned, Maurizio Sarri. I actually feel quite bad for him because his keeper's made an absolute mockery of him, but as I mentioned before, he does look completely ridiculous. And the thing I want to get onto later with a few more of the questions is that it's even worse that none of his players backed him up. Like if you're one of the more experienced players like David Luiz or even the captain, Azpilicueta, you should have just said, look, you may disagree with the decision, but just get off the pitch because the manager has made a decision. They've all completely undermined him, and now it looks even worse for Sarri. Obviously, Kepa's arrogance has taken a hit, especially with letting in Sergio Aguero's penalty, which, let's be honest, was incredibly soft. But even so, I think Sarri has come off worse. Next up, Ryan Talon has said, what would we be saying if Kepa won the penalty shootout? Well, he didn't. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, if he won, there'd all be smiles at the end and everyone would be happy and say it's a misunderstanding and they could all blow it over, water under the bridge. However, he didn't, so something definitely needs to be done. Even if they did win, and as I said, they'd all be happy about it, though, I still think someone would have to have a word in Kepa's ear. You can't really be going around thinking you're the big I am just because of a huge price tag. And talking of that, Subham Sawadi has said, do you think that Kepa is a bit too arrogant and disrespectful due to his price tag? Maybe just a little bit. I'm not going to put it all down to his price tag because, again, that's not his problem. Chelsea paid Athletic Bilbao for their goalkeeper. How much they paid him is irrelevant and not really down to him. However, I can kind of understand his, not arrogance, but almost determination to stay on the pitch. He thought he had an injury, he didn't want to come off, and was determined to stay on and help his team. It's that kind of thing that I can kind of admire. Next up, Ankit Fulonton has said that was disrespectful from Kepa, which was covered up by Sarri in the press conference to protect him from the media. By the way, absolute bollocks. I'm not even sure that's a question, but yeah, absolutely, you've hit the nail on the head there. It was a load of nonsense, and he did come out in the media, protect his player, which I'm all for, so yeah, good call from you. And next one is back with our favourite commentator, Hugh Mung Arse. He got me last time, I know it this time, but I'm still saying it. It says, what is the probability of Caballero replacing Kepa in the coming matches? Very, very high. I will say that I'd be surprised if Caballero doesn't start the Spurs game on Wednesday night, just as more of a show that Chelsea are in control of the situation and that Kepa isn't the one calling all of the shots. And next up from ZV13, who said, did Chelsea play well or just City play bad? I actually thought, funnily enough, considering that they got battered by City 6-0 a few weeks ago, Chelsea did hold their own and had some really good spells. I thought, again, playing Hazard up front by himself is just really not his position, doesn't look good, but he did make the most of all of his skills and all of the ball that he had. He was creating, constantly buzzing around, and even the Higuain and Giroud sat on the bench, Hazard still did a fantastic job, and I thought actually Chelsea were going to nick it in extra time. As for Manchester City, they played well, definitely not their best, as we've seen in recent weeks. And lastly but not least, from Syed Hussein, who has said, will Sarri get sacked? I'm not entirely sure, a lot does depend on the Tottenham game this week. if they lose that and if Chelsea fall away from the top four, then yeah, they pretty much will. And actually, on the subject of this, I saw a pundit yesterday on TV said that if Chelsea believe that Sarri is the man to take them to the top four, they'll stick with him, and if he's not, they'll get rid of him. No shit, I can't believe that pundit's even paid for stupid comments like that. Anyway, if you do think he will get sacked, then you can click right here to check out the 5 potential replacements I've named for him in a video from last week. That's all from me for though. Thanks guys for joining for the special Q&A and for getting your questions in on such a short notice. As always, you can leave your thoughts down in the comment section about everything from the game. Was Kepa right? Was Sarri right? And all the rest of your thoughts surrounding the Carabao Cup Final, which Manchester City won on penalties. Until next time though, thanks for joining. I'll see you guys later.